Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Charles Derrick.
This is J-Rob.
And this is Bringing the Noise. J-Rob.
Got another good one, brother.
Woo! We have, I'm going to go ahead and say it, one of the most notorious drummers of all time. Now he may not know that, but really, now I want people to think about this. If you remember the 80s, 90s country music, for instance, I mean, this guy's not just a country, drummer, but if you remember those days, there's two drummers that I remember being on top and was in every magazine and that you saw on TV a whole lot more than any other drummer. And it was Mark Herndon and Bill Marshall. Those were the two to me. And maybe it was because of the big rock arena looking drum kit and them just, putting on a show. And
that's exactly right.
The two most notorious that I remember from that time was those two guys. And we have a legend, absolute legend on the show today. I could literally spend half of this podcast giving his accolades because it's that long. I mean, most people don't even dream of half the career that this guy's been able to have. Okay. And I know he's a humble guy but in reality, and in my time, the 16 years I've been in this business, most people don't ever even get to taste the type of accolades this guy's got. So, and it's the truth. And most people, and I'm gonna go ahead and say this too, most people get and really go to those bigger levels like that, and then they come down and they really, really, really come down and they have to go back to just, small time things. This guy has actually went to the bigger things, the legendary statuses, and came back down and still killing it later in his life in ways that some of us hadn't even got to, and he's on the back end of the career kind of thing and still killing it, still killing it. I mean, the guy's he's got it going on. And when I talked to him earlier today, it was like, man, how do you get to be, in the right place, right time? I mean, is it just that? But then I got to looking at it and I'm like, man, this guy was nominated, ACM Drummer of the Year in 85 and 86. It's not just right place, right time. It's having the talent over the top. And when you do get opportunities and you've got that kind of talent, there's going to be some blessings sent your way. And this guy has absolutely, and we are thrilled to have him on the show today. And just to go through a few of these things, Hank Williams Jr., he was with Hank Williams Jr., the Bama Band. I know they were with Hank. I want to say he was with him for, if I count the years there. I didn't know till earlier today that he had left for a few years. I knew he had the stint with Survivor, but I didn't know how all of that worked out. But come to find out, he did leave for a few years. So he's with Hank Jr., I would say around close to 20 years. And with the Bama Band for, Lord knows how long. And Survivor many years as well. And, hell, toured with ZZ Top, I mean, this guy has done a lot of stuff, y'all. Look, he was called about being Peter Criss's replacement from Kiss.
Yeah.
How in the hell? That is huge, y'all. I mean, everybody and their mama knows who Kiss is, right? So the guys co-wrote some songs. on a gold album, the Montana Cafe album, and we'll get to that song later. I thought it was funny which one it was, but
Yeah, right.
and and talking about right place, right time. He was on the Key Largo #1 single before he even got with Hank. With Bertie Higgins. And I mean, we could just sit here and go on and on and on forever about the accolades, and we'll get into some of them. He was nominated for Outstanding Young Men of America Award. He's been on all kind of magazines, drummer magazines and country song magazine. I mean, you name it. Guys played in front of 1 million people before. Okay. With the Beatles drummer Ringo Starr playing drums beside him. I mean, I don't even know where you can even go from there. And we could, like I said, all these accolades, but look, I'm just kind of brushing the surface. Has toured the world. The guys toured the world with Survivor, with Hank. And I could just go on and on and on. I mean, a few of the appearances he's had. Let's just name some of these people for name dropping. I mean, we're talking about Muddy Waters, Howlin' Wolf, John Mayall, Tina Turner, B.B. King, Freddie King, Professor Longhair, Richie Blackmore, John Lord from Deep Purple, Dickie Betts, the Beach Boys, Merle Haggard, Willie Nelson, Waylon Jennings, Sammy Hagar, Robbie Krieger from the Doors, as I said, Ringo Starr, Leslie West from Mountain, Kid Rock. I mean, and all these TV shows, man, you name it. Every TV show from that time period, just about. Let's don't even go into all of them. Award shows. I remember him being on all these award shows. I remember the Crossroads episode with Kid Rock. I remember going to all the Hank Williams Jr. shows all those years in it would have been early 2000s mostly, but these guys were up there, and it was the who I wanted to be. That's what I wanted to be, was one of those guys. Absolute legend. He's been blessed also as a father. I believe he's got 4 girls. He's got a son, and he's got 3 stepchildren as well?
3 stepdaughters.
3, okay. And his son is also a drummer as well.
Yeah, Garrett, yeah.
So, y'all, we got Bill Marshall on the show today.
How about that? Just come in here, have whiskey and beer, and say howdy to you all. You all know me, it's Hank Jr., you see, a hat and shade, beard and all. Now I have heard, I've got to worry about all these phony acting imposters running around. Now they ain't real. They got no scars, they got no feel. They can't cut no guitar, whiskey, band, and hellbound. And I'm looking for a lover. Yeah, I'm gonna have some fun. My name is Bo Celis. Yeah, and I'm a son of a gun. Some of them own it. Some ain't never get it. Thank God I'm a guitar man. Sure, I love the money. Sure, I love the honey. Thing I really love is Nobody loves me. Those who will fight. Right at the end, I got some guitar friends from legendary Saturday nights. I learned some of Leonard Skinner's shoulder. Daddy and Ernest took too. This is the platinum boy that does the rock and roll country blues. Yeah, I'm looking for loving. I'm on the fun. My daddy called me Bosiba. Yeah, I'm a son of a gun. Some of them win, some of them never get it. Thank God I'm a guitar man. Sure, I love the money. Sure, I love the honeys. If you know me, I love to get down with the best band.
What's going on, buddy?
Hey, man. Well, you can see my Beatles stuff up there. I mean, because, well, my family knows I'm a Beatle nut, so they give me posters and stuff. Those have been up there, I bet, for 20 years anyway.
So, I mean, that's what you grew up on. I mean, that was
Oh
the
yeah,
band.
yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I watched them on Ed Sullivan and went, "Oh my God!" Y'all missed it, man.
We did.
I mean, maybe you didn't, but when you're a young kid, I guess I was 12. You're a young kid, and all these British bands are coming over, and they all have these accents, and their hair just started looking like mine. My parents would have killed me if I had hair like this when I was a kid. Oh, it was my hair was,
Yeah.
Nobody had longer hair back then, so it was all new. It was a change of the times. My sister was really into the Motown thing,
Yeah.
back then, because she's a girl. They dance, and I mean, I love Motown stuff, and probably because of her. But I mean, when you're a young boy, and in fact, my father was a musician too. But and I always heard music around the house. My father played big band music all the time. Tommy Dorsey, Benny Goodman, Artie Shaw, big band stuff, and that's what he had. He played sax, clarinet, piano, and so I was already into music and didn't know it, because I was always hearing it. So we kept up with the radio and stuff like that. And so when the British invasion started, like the Beatles came out, it was like, what the heck is this? Look at their hair, listen, so yeah, so it's a cool thing because times were changing,
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, it was just a magical period of year. Dave Clark 5, that was all really cool stuff. Anybody tell you that's my age anyway? A musician probably, but their wives probably don't want to hear about it. Anyway,
it's funny you said that about the hair, because I've always thought, man, Bill kind of, and we talked about it earlier. I thought you were actually younger than what you are. Let's just put it like that. But the hair always, makes you timeless, I guess you could say.
Look, I mean, and I don't. It's funny. My mother died at 90 with no gray hair, well, maybe a little bit, and my father died at 86 with just salt and pepper.
Wow.
And nobody had lost their hair yet. Nobody lost their hair. So, and I got a little bit of gray coming in there, but I don't tinted or anything. It's kind of weird. All my friends are going, "Damn you!"
I was about to say, y'all can kiss my ass.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Well,
I got
I-
all this gray going on already.
it's funny as hell because, but I got friends that shave their heads anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
I
got
started
friends
losing
that-
it a long time ago.
No, I got friends that just had hair around the back and they just shave their
Yeah.
head.
Yeah. The
Yeah,
Larry
they just
Fine.
shave it. But see, it's a normal thing nowadays. In fact, there's a lot of women out there that like that. I mean, a lot of them.
Oh yeah.
Listen to you. Oh,
As
yeah.
long as your head looks okay.
You got to have the right head shape for it.
Well, yeah, right. I hear you, man.
Or a good looking hat like Kenny Chesney or something, cover it up.
I like that old one hat. I love that hat. That's great.
I'm gonna always have a hat on.
That's a good one, man.
Oh,
I got Hank hats around here somewhere.
Oh,
Bama
man.
Band, Bama Band hats. Hold on a minute. Here's a couple. Here's my DW hat. Of course,
Yeah.
you know, I'm a Pearl. I do play Pearl and DW, but and here's what we used to sell at the gigs.
yeah.
Oh, dude.
Awesome.
And silver too.
Look how retro. That is awesome.
I've got to look for one of those online.
Yeah, you know,
That is killer.
the Bama Band kicks ass, man.
They ain't
love
And
lying.
we had some great looking T-shirts too. That I still got some that I hadn't worn, maybe a couple of them. But oh yeah, when we have to move from this house, oh my God, it's going to take months. I mean, we've been here 22 years, and there's so much stuff that we're going to find. Probably a lot of Bama Band stuff and Hank stuff just up in the attic. Oh, it's crazy. The BB King, we did one of those award shows with him.
It's on YouTube.
Yeah, I hate to say which one it is because I don't want to get it wrong. Anyway,
Y'all were
but-
doing
but-
All My Righty Friends are coming over tonight with him.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
I've
one
seen
of
the
those
video.
types, one of those kind of things. But getting to play like John Lord, Deep Purple, and some of those guys, early 70s, played in town. Deep Purple did way back then. And we had a band house in Memphis. Back then, you just had a band house. You know, lots of bands had band houses, and they were 19, 20, 21 years old. You know, they go live at the band house. Hey, Mom, I'm moving out. I'm going to the band house, you know. So after their show one night, part of Deep Purple came over to our band house and jam. So we
Wow.
got to mess around and jam too. So see what I mean? It's all that kind of stuff. It's just so much fun. I mean, you never know what's going to happen, you know? So that's where all those names, I'm trying to tell you, they're all cameos, you know, we got to jam with them or something like that. Now, as far as Muddy Waters, I played with a band called Larry Raspberry and the High Steppers back in the 70s. And we opened the show for Muddy Waters, I think a couple of days at a club in New York called the Bottom Line. No, I'm sorry. It wasn't Bottom Line. We did play the Bottom Line, but we opened for you can edit this because I'm thinking. Harmonica guy, black guy, James. Anyway, well, I'll think about it. But we did open for Muddy Waters at another club, and I don't know the name of the club, but it was with Larry Raspberry and the High Steppers. And you've seen the picture of me and Muddy Waters, right? I'm holding Muddy's
I may
hand.
have.
Yeah, it's on my web. It's on my. If you scroll down, but yeah, it's picture me holding Muddy's hand, and I think I was 21 or something. James Cotton is the name of the guy, big blues guy. I mean, harmonica player that we opened up for in New York City at the Bottom Line Club, a very famous club in New York. But that was 1974. Anyway, So you just to get you straight on all those names you were naming off.
I didn't want to
Look like I
confuse
played with all
anybody.
those people.
Yeah.
Okay.
One thing I forgot to put in there. Billy E. told me.
Billy East, you know, he opened up for the Eagles their whole tour.
He
Yep.
told us about that. That's insane.
Jesus, tell me that isn't cool.
Dude.
Well, one thing I had to put in that intro though, and I didn't do it. He wanted me to say, I mean, I love Bill Marshall.
Oh, Billy, I love Billy more than anything in the world.
And he also said that he ran into Vernon, and Vernon wanted to know what you was wearing tonight.
Vernon would say, we'd be on the bus, you know, and Vernon was a great guy, but he was from Arab, Alabama, and he had that's just kind of the way he acted. And he'd say, we'd have Led Zeppelin going in the bus, you know, and Vernon would be sitting there. Vernon would always say, we'd have it loud. He'd turn it off and go, who does that? Who does which one? Who does what? He said, who does that song? And it was funny for us, right? But because we would sit there and just laugh, and Billy would be the same going, you know.
Vernon
was great.
He kind of reminds me of Vernon. Kind of reminds me of the guy off of what's the show? The Grand Ole Opry. What's the Little Jimmy Dickens? He kind of looks like Little Jimmy, you know.
Vernon was great. Vernon played with a lot of famous fiddle players and stuff, and bluegrass. That's what he did. But you know, he played on the Hank session. All My Rowdy Friends Are Settling Down. That's Vernon playing the mandolin, and you know.
Got it. Okay.
And so after that session, after he played on the record, then Hank asked him to be in the band. Wow. And I think Vernon came in right after me in 1982. I started in January 1982.
He was just a little short, stumpy guy, you know.
Yeah, he was short, but a little bit shorter than me. But he had a big barrel chest, you know.
Maybe that's what it was. It made him look, I don't know.
Something like that.
I mean, he wasn't as tiny as Jimmy Dickens, but it kind of just reminded me, I guess, compared to all of y'all, because, you know, like Wayne was real tall and, you know, big guy, you know.
Absolutely. Well, Billy's tall too now.
Yeah.
Now Ray Barrickman, who's a beloved friend of mine, now he's short. Ray's short. We used to
tease him. He used to put on the show though.
Oh man, he and Wayne, Animal running around. It's on that show that I was telling you about today. Hank Williams Jr. Bama Band live in Atlanta at the Omni, 1987. The whole show, and you can see the whole band like you're there. It's not just a close up on Hank. You know, it's like, and back then we had these ramps on each side of the stage, you know, and you could run around up on the top of the stage above me.
Go behind you.
And they could run back down. Yeah, it was great. Well, all that kind of started because when I started with Hank, he had 9 albums on the chart. I think I'd been there just a few months, but at that time, they were going, man, look, there's 9 albums on the chart same time.
That's crazy.
And that was about the time that what's it called? The album with the train on the front of it.
Yeah. Hold on. If you wouldn't have said,
I know that's just the way I do stuff too. Anyway, Pressure's On.
Pressure's On. That's it.
Yeah, that album. And then that album had just come out when I got in the band. And then we did high notes. That's a picture of Hank on the front and on the back. We're all sitting on a pickup truck. And then you got the bus, the airplane, and all that other stuff lined up. And we're all sitting there freezing our butts off. It was so cold. I bet it was 38 degrees. We're taking the pictures for the back album cover of High Notes. Man. But anyway, good times. Nothing like freezing together, saying, man, we gotta hurry up, take your picture, get the hell out,
We went through one of them earlier this year, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It's not fun.
So, oh man, I don't even know where to begin. I mean, I just saw, yeah. I mean, I guess we can go back to the beginning because you said that your dad was a big band leader, and sax and clarinet and piano.
Yeah, he had a band called the Tennesseans, and this was like late 30s. I think 39. No, 37, 38, 39. And they played all around Memphis. But I mean, it was big band stuff back then. That's, like watching old movies nowadays. You see like Marx Brothers movies or something. It's all big band. You don't see any guitars and stuff, and Beatle-like bands, 2 guitars, bass, drums. No, it was like 4 saxes, trumpets, trombones, Buddy Rich playing drums and stuff,
Yeah.
But that was their day of what ours is today, But anyway, yeah, he played all around here until he got drafted, talking about my father. And so he went to World War II for, I think 4 years in the Air Force, stationed in Okinawa. And in fact, when I went over to Okinawa, I went to Japan with Hank. I think I went to Okinawa with Jimmy Jameson. But I called my father from there and said, hey, Dad, guess where I'm at? Okinawa. What?
Wow.
Anyway, I brought him a jacket, one of those nylon jackets back. It says Okinawa on it and stuff. He was tickled to death.
Wow, man.
Pretty cool. Anyway, that's where the music was got into me, because I was raised, as I was telling Charles, raised with music in the house all the time. Dad couldn't wait till Saturday afternoons. He'd go down and turn his music up. My mother'd be going, Billy, turn that music, Oh, he'd blast us out, So I know where I got the blasting from him anyway. And then I had a big sister, and she was a Motown fan. So, it was like I was hearing all this music, and my sister's 3.5 years older than me. So, I had music coming at me. And then, of course, when the Beatles came out, that was my bag. And I think I saw the Beatles in February of '64, Ed Sullivan Show. And then in June, I got a drum kit. And all the boys on the block that were my age were wanting to start bands. Even next door to me, they would put on Beatle records or whatever and play with brooms, in their hand, like they were strumming, and had fake microphones and stuff. So everybody started pantomiming stuff. And then we got a little older, 13, 14, started getting instruments, and people started playing, started getting junior high talent shows and stuff like that. And then it just kept going. Here I am, 60 years later, whatever. Let's see, is that right? Well, not quite 60 years. But anyway, yeah, high school bands to let's go like to 1969. After I got out of high school in 1970, I was in a band called America, and it was before the America band. There was a band called America that you know,
Yeah,
had a
I
lot of
remember
hits.
them. Yeah.
Yeah, they were out what in the 80s, maybe
Right.
70s, probably 70s, right? Anyway, we had the name first. Of course, we didn't last a couple of years, but I moved to Mobile, Alabama with the band called America. It was a horn band, and we played Blood, Sweat, and Tears, Chicago, all kinds of stuff with horns. And we landed this gig at a place called Papa Don's Skylark Club. And Papa Don, who owned the club, was a producer himself and had a studio in Pensacola. And he produced an act called James and Bobby Purify. And they were a soul act. They had a song called I'm Your Puppet. Anyway, so he was a music guy that owned the club. So when we got there, Charles, you'd be interested to hear this. When we got there, there was a band that we opened up for, I think that first week, and we met them. And it was a band called Fox, who had just changed their name to Wet Willie because they had signed a deal with Capricorn Records because the original Wet Willie had broken up. So that's when I met Jimmy Hall, Jack Hall, and his sister Donna, who sang with our band really for a short time. And Jimmy's mother was our landlady because we ended up moving down to Mobile and getting an apartment. And Miss Hall she was the resident. She didn't live there, but she was the resident agent that leased the apartments and stuff, I believe. So that's where I met Jimmy Hall in 1970. So all those years, and Jimmy and we didn't stay in touch that much, but when Hank asked to get a harp player in 1992, I called Jimmy. I said, "Hey man, Bill Marshall." He said, "Yeah, man, you know." And so I said, "Hank's looking for a harp player. What do you think? We come do the gig?" He said, "Yeah." So Jimmy's still there. But Jimmy started in 92. I started in 82.
Yeah, I've seen him. I've seen him over there.
Yeah, Jimmy,
skinny guy and glasses.
Yeah,
yeah,
but fantastic musician. I mean, Jimmy's been playing with Jeff Beck. You know, Jimmy's been on the road with Jeff Beck singing stuff. The whole Hall family, very, very nice family. But yeah, that's where I met Jimmy. But anyway, our band broke up. We moved back to Memphis in like 1971. I got in a band around here called the Uncle Jam Band, and that was 1971. We started that band with the bass player from America, and we ended up getting another band house. Got to have a band house because I had to live there. Anyway, so we were together for a while, and our managers got us on the tour with ZZ Top, and we didn't have any records out, but we were an R&B band. We with a girl singer. We did like some Tina Turner, Ike and Tina Turner. We did a lot of stuff like Staple Singers and you know R&B stuff. So anyway, we got to do 20 shows with ZZ Top. There was us and another band that opened for ZZ, all around the South, you know, Alabama, Arkansas, you know, around here. I don't think
how cool was that at that time, though?
Oh man, it was awesome. It was awesome because, in fact, that Rio Grande Mud ZZ album is still one of my favorites that they did with Francine on it and all that. It's great, man.
That's a pretty sweet gig to get with no albums out yourself, though. I mean, I guess that was a pretty good hookup.
Well, we were good. We were a good band.
Sure, obviously.
We've done some recordings at the studio, but we never got a deal. But still, we got to go out with them. And I think that our managers and ZZ's managers, Bill Ham, had some kind of deal going. So you know that's one reason we got to go on the tour. But we got to go, did 20 shows with them, and and that lasted. And we came back home, and of course, nothing. we came back home, just did local gigs till the band broke up. Then I went with another band called Larry Raspberry and the High Steppers, and that was a pretty pretty big band. We had sax and trumpet, Fingers Taylor, who played with Jimmy Buffett, harmonica player. In fact, we wrote a song called Dixie Diner that I got part writer's credit on, that Buffett did on his, where is it? Here you go. That one.
Nice.
Buffett did, well, because of Fingers Taylor, it was the harmonica guy. They did it on their live album. It's an instrumental song. There's no words to it, but Fingers took it to Buffett, and they did it on the live album. So we got writers and made a little money, which was great.
Awesome. Shoot, yeah.
But Larry Raspberry is, you know, everybody knows Larry here. He's a famous guy. He was in the original Gentrys that had "I Keep On Dancing, Keep On." Anyway, back in the mid '60s, and Larry was a heck of a writer, man. If you ever go to a used record store and see Larry Raspberry and the High Steppers, get it. It's a good record. It's out on Enterprise Records, which was a subsidiary of Stax back then. And it would have done something, but Columbia, I believe, distributed the record. But right after ours came out, Stax lost the distribution deal. So they had all these albums and nobody to go take them out anywhere.
Oh, wow. Gotcha. Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, we weren't the only band that was signed to Stax. You know, you've heard of Stax Records in
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah. We're with you.
Anyway, so we weren't the only band that happened to. You know, it's like we got this great album out, but it did make it to California. We did tour with Larry and a guy named Don Nix, who's another famous guy from here. He wrote "Going Down." I'm going down, down, down. Anyway, Don's from here, and we did do a tour with Larry and Don in '74 back then. And it was a great band, great people. After that band,
now would you say that was that Larry Nix as well?
Larry is Don's brother, and Larry, you know, he's in the record business. But what does he do? He masters records.
He mastered, something for us one time. Yeah, and his son is Larry. Now doing it too.
Absolutely, and his son's a drummer too. I know him. Yeah,
that's right. He's a drummer. People. Yeah, he's down there playing with David Michael down there at on the coast, Gulf Shores. I think they're living down there now.
Yeah, and I think his mom's down there.
Yeah.
Anyway, they're all great. But Don produced John Mayall records. He produced a bunch of stuff. And he still lives in Memphis, but he's retired now. Talking about the Nix family. Anyway, after that, I'm kind of going step by step. After that, that's kind of when I went and played in a country band called Great Plains. And it was a great, I'd never been in a country band before, but I'd listened to country music, not like Hank. This was like 1975. Country really wasn't rocking at that point. 74, 75, and 76, I think. And I played with them for a while. And the guy in this band is the guy that went hunting with Hank's friend.
Gotcha.
Remember?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's where I'm at now. I'm in 76 playing with Great Plains. Played with them for a while. In 77, I was still playing around town. And I think it was 79, we moved to Atlanta. Told you about that.
Now, wasn't there a movie, a filming, recording two out, and then the filming of a movie there in 78?
Well, wait a minute. Yeah, I forgot Larry Raspberry. We filmed a movie called Jive Ass, and that was in I think 1975.
Correct.
And the same people, it's on the resume, right? The same people that filmed Jive Ass is the same company that did the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
But they were good people, and they really liked the band, and they decided to do a film on, or they say nowadays a picture. They decided to do a picture on the world's most famous unknown rock and roll band.
Oh wow.
Was Larry Raspberry and the High Steppers. And the movie's out. I've got a copy of the movie. I don't know where you get it nowadays, but it was called Jive Asp, JSSP. Jive Asp. Anyway.
So was it filmed like a documentary? I mean, Texas
Yeah.
Chainsaw Massacre was filmed like a documentary type movie, honestly.
Well, yeah, it was a documentary. They followed us around the country doing gigs. And you could see it was like live performances at different places and interviews with the band members.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So, a great time. Another great time. Great people too. We rode in the van, which was fun. Van and the trailer the whole time. But the van had a bed in the back, and and we had pipes coming down from the air conditioner vents to go in the back.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, it was great, man. It was still good. I mean, when you're 21, 22 years old, hey man, I can ride all night in this thing,
Yeah.
Right.
But anyway, so about 1979, moved to Atlanta. A friend of mine called me, said, "Come on, man, there's a bunch of work down here." So picked up my family, sold the house, moved to Atlanta.
And you had the son at this time. You were married and had the
Yeah.
son.
I had Garrett. We had Garrett. He was born in 76, and he's a drummer now too. Even to right now. In fact, I think he's still out of town playing somewhere. But anyway, yeah, we moved to Atlanta, my wife and I and Garrett. Good gig, man. Great gig. It was playing in the Atlanta area, right? But what happened was about 4 months after we got there, the guy said, "Well, I don't have any more work, so I'm quitting. I'm going back to Florida." And we're going, we just sold our house and moved here.
Wow.
Oh my God. And I'm a drummer, I don't know, what am I going to do? Go sell cars? I mean, I don't know. Anyway, I was doing some studio work at that time too. And that's where I got into doing a few sessions. I did a couple of demo sessions with a guy named Joe South. He had a couple of songs that were hits, "Walk a Mile in My Shoes," back in the 60s. But anyway, after that band broke up in Atlanta, I got with a bunch of other guys, and one of them was Bertie Higgins. And he didn't have any records out, but he was a great songwriter. So we ended up going to this studio called Southern Tracks. I don't think is there anymore, where I was doing demos with some other people. And we cut this song with Bertie. And I said, "Man, that's a great song." And it was Key Largo. And he got a record deal, put it out, and it hit #1. And after I'd moved back to Memphis, I think this was 1981, #1 on adult contemporary charts, and was all over the place. So at that point, I had just moved back to Memphis, and I was playing around Memphis, and about 4 or 5 months later, I get a call from this guy, and who's a dear friend, love him with all my heart, Lamar Morris, Hank's band leader, and told me who he was, and he had gotten my name from a guy in Hank's office, who had gotten my name from my friend in the band that I played in 1976, Great Plains, because he had gone hunting with one of the guys in Hank's office. And from what the story is, after they got back in the truck from hunting, the Key Largo came on the radio or something, is what I heard. And he says, "Hey, that's a friend of mine playing drums," and a guy that worked at Hank's office, I forgot his name. So, "Well, Hank's looking for a drummer." And my friend said, "Well, here, I'll give you Bill's number."
There you go.
What
I'm going,
chance?
Yeah, so strange. So that's how they got my number. Very strange. I mean, stuff happens, right?
Yeah.
It was supposed to happen.
Yeah, I mean, weird. Anyway, so they said, he said, "Would you want to come and audition, Lamar?" And I said, "Well, yeah, but I got so much going on right now. I had a month-long gig at this place, and I didn't know if I could get out of it. So I said, well, call me back in a week or something." And I didn't mean to put him off, but I didn't want to lose my gig either, right? So eventually we figured it out. He said, "Hank will fly you to Louisville, Kentucky to audition. And if you don't like it, we'll fly you home." Later, Lamar told me, he said, "Usually we don't do that. If they don't make the audition, they got to get home the best way they can." Oh, that's funny. I'm about to die when he said,
"Good luck to you."
So anyway, yeah, he said, usually they got to get home the best way they can if they don't make the audition. I'm going. So
Yeah.
Anyway, I didn't get to audition that day. I pulled into town, got a taxi, went to the theater, and I didn't get to audition that day because sound check was too long. I didn't even meet Hank. I don't think Hank came to sound check that first time. And I was telling Charles today on the phone that they said, "Well, can you go to the gig with us tomorrow? You can ride the bus with us tonight, go to tomorrow's gig." And I was like, and they kind of thought I was kind of mean. Or I said, "Man, I need to get home. I didn't want to lose that gig, at my house because I'm supporting my family, So anyway, but I said, okay, well, I'll ride with you. We'll go do the gig. And a good friend of mine was subbing for me in Memphis. So anyway, we got to the gig next day, and it was it was in Indiana somewhere. So we got the gig. They set up, and back then, you turn the house. Hank did 2 shows, same place.
Uh-huh.
So like he might go on to 7 and play till 8:30, and at 9 that they turn the house, and another house full of people would come in, right? So we do the show all over again. He did a lot of those back then.
Wow.
So I was in the dressing room with these guys I just met. I didn't know them at all. And they'd done the first show. Lamar comes up to me and he says, "Hey," he said, "Bill." I said, "Yeah." He said, "You ready for this?" And I said, "I guess." He said, "Well, Hank wants you to come up and play the second show." And I went, "Huh?"
Uh-huh.
I went, "What?" I mean, I had a few Hank albums at the house, but I didn't know their stuff, So
Well, did he tell you this before the first show? So you could watch at least?
Well, I didn't even go up there because I didn't really see the first show. I heard it, but I didn't want to go up there and spook the drummer, like, here's the guy that might be replacing me,
Right.
He was a nice guy, and he had been with Juice Newton before Hank.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And anyway, I didn't want to go up there and hang around, but anyway, they said, "Hank wants you to play the second show." And I was kind of like, oh crap. Cause I didn't know, but anyway, I went up and played the second show, and we went back to the hotel where we were staying that night. And Lamar, band leader, told me that he called Hank as soon as he got back to the show. And Hank said, "Well, did you hire him yet?"
Sweet.
Quote.
Nice.
So then I was there till 93, I think.
Now,
and the Bama Band got to do Bama Band 85 album in 85, one in 88, and then one in 1990. Those 3, really 2 on Mercury, because the first one was on Complete, but distributed by Mercury. So same thing to me. And then the third one was on Capitol and produced by Jimmy Bowen, who was a guy that produced a lot of those old Hanks albums, like Pressure's On, and one before that, Old Habits, Habits Old and New, they call it. We called it Old Habit. And then we had a couple albums out after that. But anyway, go ahead.
No, well, just to clarify, and I actually just found this out today, but Lamar, who was the band leader and rhythm guitar player, was also Hank's brother-in-law, right?
Yeah. Yeah, married Hank's half sister, who was Lucretia. And Lucretia was Miss Audrey's daughter when she married Hank.
Gotcha. Okay.
So Miss Audrey already had a daughter, Lucretia.
Okay.
See what I mean?
I've seen pictures of her and Hank, and also saw her on a documentary of Hank one time talking on there. So she was around.
Yes, sweet, love Lucretia, sweet lady, and the whole family.
But Hank was the only child, right, of Hank and Audrey, right?
Of Hank and Audrey, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Hank's the only child of those two.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. All right, sorry about that. I just wanted to clarify about Lamar.
Yeah. Lamar's neatest guy in the world. Still,
he always looked like the serious one in all the pictures and videos I've seen of him. He always looks like the serious guy, and everybody else is like having a blast, and he looks like the guy that's going to, all right, I got to make sure these guys stay in line, and I got to make sure I answer to the boss over here.
Well, he made sure that we were ready on stage. If Hank made a change, he was right next to him. He could hear you turn around to me and go 3, 4, 1, 2. He let it, because you couldn't always hear when Hank changed and went into another song. You see what I mean?
Right.
It looks like I'm not looking at you.
Yeah. No, explain that. Explain that to everybody, because I know me and you, we talked about that today, but explain how that would go. It almost reminds me of what's his name? The King of Soul. What's his name?
Brown?
James Brown. It reminds me of James Brown, how he would always just have to keep the band guessing and just, whatever. Well, Hank did it in more of a redneck way of like, hey, I'm just going to say, I want to play, give me 3 steps, or I want to play Walk This Way, or whatever.
Well, he back in those earlier days in the 80s, he would kind of do that. I mean, he would, before we ended a song and hit the last note, he'd be going into another song. I mean, he might have been into it for 30 seconds before we realized something's going on, something's wrong, what's going on, because something wasn't with us,
Y'all better jump on the ship.
Something wasn't with us. It was like, and finally, we had some train wrecks, but lots of times we pulled it off. Yeah, we had some train wreck, but because he would keep going, or Lamar. It was really good when Lamar was there, because Lamar would just go pow, and we'd all stop. Mm-hmm. When it got out of control, the band would stop. Hank would keep going, and Lamar would count us in.
Oh shit!
Oh yeah, there's some people out there that have seen some weird shows, strange shows, but they were all fun.
Yeah.
But even though the band was back there going, what happened? We're kind of freaking out a little bit, but they were all, I mean, looking back, if I was in the audience, I'd be going, what? And then because Hank's going into another Hank song, it was still fun. The audience was having a blast. Back then you could hold up your Confederate flag,
Yeah.
I mean, geez.
Well, that time that I got to see you guys playing and that was happening, and it wasn't weird for me. I was impressed at the band and all you guys, because when he would keep on changing, like y'all were right there. Like,
yeah, oh yeah.
To me, it was like y'all were just so on your toes and ready for whatever.
We got real good at it.
I guess you had to night after night.
No, we got real good at it. We called it stump the band.
Yeah.
You know, you're supposed to stump the crowd in a show like that, but if the band stumped too, it's probably going to be pretty entertaining.
Yeah. That's what it was called, stump the band. But lots of times we came out there going, he didn't get us tonight.
Yeah.
God almighty, man.
He didn't get us tonight. We were right there, brother. We were right there. We did good tonight.
Well, okay. All right. Speaking of Lamar, though, how long was he there? I don't remember him in those later years.
Lamar started with Hank in 1963. If I'm
Wow.
pretty sure I'm right about that. If Lamar's listening, right, Lamar?
Wow.
Anyway, I think he started with him in 63. When Hank, because Lamar was, I don't know if he was married to Lucretia then or not, but because Hank started when he was 8, and I don't think Hank was. I mean, no, Lamar wasn't with him at that point. In fact, when Lamar was a young boy, and he was from, I don't know if he was from, he lives in Opp, Alabama now, but I don't know if he lived there then. But when he was a young boy, Lamar got to open up for Hank Williams.
Wow.
Shoot.
Yeah.
Insane.
Lamar got to open up for Hank Williams, Hank Jr.'s dad.
Sure. Yeah.
And everybody said, no kidding. He said, yeah. And they said, well, what'd you play? And Lamar went, he started laughing. He said, some Hank Williams songs. I mean, that's all he knew, you know.
Well, it was top stuff, I guess, at the time for him, right?
And Merle Kilgore had, I don't know how many times, but he carried Hank Sr.'s guitar for him.
Yep, and I've heard that. Yep. Well, I mean, think about it. What was before Hank Williams? I mean, you know, big band stuff, and I mean, what was really
in the country thing?
Yeah, in country music, what would have been?
Well, like Roy Acuff and people like that, Bill Monroe.
I don't know, but
nobody huge like Hank got.
He was the first star, a huge star for sure.
Well, I mean, because he died in
53. New Year's.
January.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Because I mean, that's what I'm saying. I mean, who would have been, what songs would have been hardly before that, except for like maybe some, what do you call them? These sing along little nursery type, not nursery rhymes, but I mean like, little sing along little things that people sang in the fields working kind of thing, and
yeah, I know. I don't know. In fact, I'll have to look that up sometime.
That's a long time ago, man.
What were the big hit country songs in the late 40s and early 50s?
Well, almost like hymns. I mean, because Hank Williams done "I Saw the Light" and stuff like that. I mean, you're talking about church hymns and stuff before that.
Well, it was basically blues. It was just played a different way.
Yeah, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it wasn't a lot of difference there.
You was telling me, and I don't know how deep we want to go into all of this, but of the getting to hang out with Hank, and a lot of the times Billy E actually talked about some stuff, hanging out with him and in Tennessee and in Montana, and also talked about what was it? I'm trying to remember now. Some of the deep conversation there, but anyways, he talked about a lot of cool stuff away from the stage, and he also talked about some of the crazy, like the Kansas City show that is on YouTube where he got too drunk.
Oh Lord.
And it was like a 15 minutes he was out there, and then he left, and he said they were kind of worried, for their life kind of thing. I don't know if you were even still with them at that time.
Oh, I was there.
You were there? Okay.
Yeah, I did that show.
Said something about the bus rocking and all of that.
Well, there was 2 places that happened.
Really?
One of them was in Biloxi.
Okay, now he said something about a Louisiana show too that went pretty haywire.
maybe it was Louisiana. I thought it was Biloxi. Maybe it was Louisiana. Billy, you probably have to let Billy do that one. I don't want to get my facts wrong.
So it was just the guy, he's just drunk and left, and you guys were just left with the crowd kind of thing.
Exactly, but we eventually left too. But see what happened that day. I don't know if Billy told you. He went out to lunch with the Kansas City Chiefs football team.
Uh-huh.
Did Billy tell you that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he said Derek Thomas, which I knew they were friends and all that.
Yeah, but from what I remember is that most of the team went out together, and Hank went with them, and they all get sloshed.
Uh-huh.
And by the time 8 o'clock comes rolling around, Hank was still way into being in that condition.
Uh-huh. I don't know the guy, never met him. I'd love to meet Hank, but I can see maybe where there'd be a, impressing kind of thing. Like, I want to try to impress you, kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
I could definitely see that.
He's a nice guy. I mean, and Hank could be a really nice guy and really fun to be around, but we always had a good time, all the shows. And, as I said today, he'd take me and Cowboy down to Florida with him. A couple of times we went down to Panama City and had a lot of good times down there. Of course, Hank cooked for us and send us out with his car. Y'all go have a good time. So we'd go out, hop in the clubs and come back. But yeah, it was great. Just going down there, hanging out.
Now,
I think we did it twice. I think I did it twice, maybe.
Well, there was a picture from, I'm assuming, that place in Panama City that you're talking about. And I saw it online with a J.R. Smith. Now, who is that?
That was Hank's manager.
Before Merle. Okay.
Yeah. Well,
That's what I thought.
Yeah, before Merle. I think JR started back in, maybe right after Hank fell off the mountain. I think that was 75. So JR might have started helping him around that time, because Hank's office was in Coleman, Alabama, when I got in the band. And that's where JR's office was too. JR owned a trucking company and he managed Hank.
Gotcha. Now that picture that was taken and you was standing there beside him, that was where you're talking about.
Oh, where I'm
Panama
kneeling
City.
down.
Yeah.
I'm kneeling down. I got my hat on.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah. That's Hank's house in Panama City. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. He was on the phone.
That was one of the trips down there.
Gotcha.
I'm for sure. So I don't know how that picture got out.
The question is, who took the picture?
Right.
I don't know, but I know it was on my Facebook page, and somebody, if it's on your Facebook page, somebody's going to get it off.
Yeah.
So whatever happens. It's fine. That's why they're there.
There was also another picture in a hotel where.
Anyway, so.
Oh, no. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm trying to think what you're getting ready to say.
There was also another picture in a hotel where Hank was getting in the shower with you.
You saw that?
Yeah. I've seen that one.
It wasn't me. That was our bass player, Ray.
Really? Okay. I thought that was you.
Well, back in those days, when we get to the hotel, we put the little flap in the door where it wouldn't lock.
Sure.
That
locks it. Yeah.
So if Cowboy or Animal or somebody wanted to come to our room, our door would be open. They just push the door and it'd be open. They didn't have to knock. So all of a sudden, our door opens one day. We got Hank came in the door of our hotel room, and he says, "Billy, where's Ray?" I said, "He's in the shower." And have you lost me?
Oh no, we got good. Yeah.
Okay. I said, he's in the shower. And Hank pushed the bathroom door open, pushed the curtains back in the bathroom, jumps in the shower with Ray with his clothes on. And you can still see Ray's washing the soap out of his hair. And Hank's looking at the camera. In fact, I don't know if I took that picture or not. I must have.
Tell us about that. Tell us about that. That Washington D.C. show. There's a lot more around that show than what I even knew until today, actually.
Well, we just got back from Japan, and from what I remember, I was told that Mike Love from Beach Boys called Hank. May have talked to Merle, but I don't know. And asked if he would like to be on the show with them at Washington D.C. for a 4th of July celebration with the Beach Boys, 1984. So Hank's, yeah. So we didn't know it was going to be what it was. When we got there, it was a big crowd, but as the day went on, it was bigger and bigger. And of course, Ringo Starr was one of their guests, and it was, I believe, all I can remember, it was also Julio Iglesias, the OJs, Three Dog Night, us, man. America.
Yeah.
Just the two guys.
America.
Yeah, America. And then a couple of guys from the Moody Blues were guests. They just came out and sang a little bit. There was some guests like that. But anyway, then Ringo and his wife came, and we got to meet them backstage, talk briefly. And then I didn't get a picture with Ringo, but I got a picture with his wife that Ray took. And then Ringo got up, to play with the Beach Boys towards the end. And there was another drum kit over on the side, and he kept looking over at me, and like, doing his head or something. But from what I remember, and also Floyd Sneed from Three Dog Night played too, that kit. So then when Floyd got up, as Ringo kept looking over, so I got up, got to play with Ringo too. We played Fun, Fun, Fun and Good Vibrations. And another rockin' Beach Boys song. I think I played 3 songs with them and Ringo. But there was the last report I heard was almost 1 million people there. 1 million people.
Insane.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
So pretty cool.
Well, and
after that, I was gonna say after that, I thought, no, that's it. I can quit now.
no doubt.
Playing now. Got to play with Ringo.
And in front of that many people, you're not going,
hard to top.
You can't top that, man. I mean,
No,
that's
I'm telling you.
That's Garth. You know what? That's Garth Brooks at the
Central
New York City Central Park kind of stuff. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, that's insane.
Some fun, man. I mean, just moments, a lot of moments like that. Well, not like that, but a lot of good moments that were really fun. That will be memories. Stuff like, especially, growing up being a Beatle fan, right? I thought, wow.
Sure. What got you to wanting to do something else when you ended up quitting Hank in '93?
Well, I'd been in a band in the '70s called Target, and it had probably the most famous in the band that got to be famous was Jimmy Jameson, who went to play with Survivor years later. Jimmy was always a great singer and stuff. but he'd always, he'd come to my house in Nashville saying, "Come on, man, come get in my band, blah, blah, blah." So in 93, after I moved back home to Nashville, I ended up going to play with Jimmy. Anyway, so, and I think I did that for 3 or 4 years, 93 to 96 or 7. I was still playing with the Bama Band at that point.
Oh,
We'd go do gigs, and then I go out and play with Jimmy or Bama Band stuff till about 99. Well, let's say 97, 98. A couple of years I ended up doing stuff around Memphis, and then 99 went back with Hank again. Bama Band was out doing a show in the one summer of 99, or no, it was early. No, I think it was summer of 99. And Hank needed the band. He had a gig come up and they were off. So we went and did this gig. And I don't think Ray was back with Hank at that point either. But Hank ended up asking us to come back and play. So I went back with Hank from 1999 to 2004 till my father died. Mm. And then I had said, I got to stay home. Basically, that's what was going to happen. My father died. My mother went eventually go to a nursing home, and Hank got Jeff McAllister, the guy, to come back and play drums for him. That took my place in 1993. First time I left in 93, and then again he came back after I was gone in 2004. And I think Jeff stayed till 2006, till the rest of the band left. Isn't that what they said, Charles? Something like that.
Yeah, 06, I think is what Billy said when everybody.
Yeah, something like that.
Well, now Merle died in 03 though, right?
I don't know.
Okay. That may be
No. He didn't, because Merle died after I was gone. And okay. So it must have been after 2004.
think Billy said it was like 05, and then everybody was replaced in 06.
That's right. Yeah. Okay.
Right. So anyway, I hated to lose Merle, man. And I didn't get to go to the funeral, but it was a big deal. In fact, his funeral's online.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think I saw that somewhere. Yeah.
I saw it's on YouTube. Marty Stewart is the master of ceremony, I think. But anyway, so after 04, I've mainly been, I did some band gigs. We went to Norway in 07. Had a fun thing. Billy set that up. But mainly I've been around here, do some studio work, and I've got 3 bands I play in now. 2 of them are one of them's an R&B band. The other one is a blues band, Eric Hughes band, and the other one is Elmo and the Shades, and they're they play a little bit of everything, but I'd say they were an R&B band. And then I've got my classic rock band. It's a cover band, but killer band, and we do all kinds of private stuff called Almost Famous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because we figured we were, everybody in the band has done all kinds of stuff. So that's what I've been doing, and staying home and getting older.
Ain't we all?
But that's about it, actually.
I always ask everybody on the podcast to tell, what would you tell a musician coming up that is actually really doing something? We're not, like I said, we're not talking about a garage band guy. We're talking about somebody who's actually out there doing gigs and really trying to, make a movement. Yeah, be professional. I mean, what would be one thing you would tell him he needs to do, and what is one thing you tell him to do not do? I know I'm putting you on the spot.
Well, no, I mean, I only tell you what I did, and that was just I just followed my heart. I knew what I wanted to do. And I just followed my heart, playing drums no matter what. A lot of hard times, you know, it's not wasn't all good times. It's like anybody tell you. And you know, there's still ups and downs in the music business. You know, a lot of hard times. I mean, from all that coming up and then being married to my son's mother for 10 years. And then when I got on the road with Hank and I was gone all the time, that's the end of that marriage. I mean, because when you stay gone 6 weeks and you come home for 3 days and then you're gone another month and then you're home 2 days and then you're gone another 6 weeks and you're home 2, you know, but you're never here. I heard that a lot.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I didn't understand then. I mean, just because, you know, I loved my wife, but I mean, it's hard for them to stay home and raise the kid and take it to school and pick them up and fix dinner and go to bed by themselves every night. And it's just, I understand now, you know?
Yeah.
But so, I mean, I understand about it's hard to be married and do that touring thing and staying gone. You know, it was for me. I'm sure there's some people out there that the wives will go, well, I make use of my time when he's gone, blah, 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 you know, but, it never really worked for me. My marriages didn't work out. I've been married this time for 26 years. So, but I've been home more, you know. But anyway, it's me telling somebody, it's just, you know, you follow your heart, you know, and music is, if it's what you do, it's what you do, you know. And, you know, if you got to get a day gig and figure it out to pay some bills, you know, don't forget what your main thing is, because if you get stuck at that day gig and you go, well, I got to make money, I can't do it, you know. And a lot of guys will do that. I mean, there's something that you can do on your own time, like, you know, there's plenty of jobs you could do, like a distributing job, or like my wife used to work for this company that you just go work on your own time, and you would go put in greeting cards at some place, you know, or straighten the greeting cards up, or distribute these magazines over to these little like Family Dollar and stuff like that. But you could do it on your own time. You didn't have to go every day to work. You know, there's plenty of stuff you can do, so your music is still the top priority. Because what I'm saying is, if you get into having to work, then you won't be able to practice. You won't be able to play. And then all of a sudden you got a gig coming up and you're going to say, I can't take the gig. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, and it's important that you get out there and take that gig, because, you know, the more you're seen, the more you're seen, the more you play, the better you'll be. So, that's just all I know. That's what happened for me. But, you know, I always had another gig to go to. I mean, I always had somebody calling me saying, you want to get in this band? And that band just happened to work. You know, like back in the 70s, we'd go play somewhere for a week, you know, like 9 to 1, Monday through Saturday, and off on Sunday. And then, you know, I had a few house gigs like that. You know, get a house gig. I don't know if they do that anymore, but I was lucky enough to have gigs like that I could play every night and still make a living doing it.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of guys can't do that because it's not their fault. It's just where they live. Maybe there's no place to play.
That's a big part of it.
I'm going, you know. So, but yeah, that's all I know to say about that anyway.
Well, brother, I wish you all the luck in the world in your future. And
well, I'm on the back side of the hill now.
Well, dude,
but
That
still
hill's
killing
still
it.
tall. That's a tall hill.
Yeah, I tell you what, the government kind of blew it all up when he made it stay home last year.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it hurt some pockets. some
It
friends
did.
of mine,
Big time.
It did.
you know. So, but anyway, we're still alive and we still can joke about old memories.
Well, I'll tell you what, buddy, you got some really, really big ones. And this was just awesome. This was big for me.
We really appreciate your time, Mr. Billy. It was
Man,
great.
my pleasure. But yeah, I've had a blast, and I appreciate y'all wanting to have me on.
Man,
And Billy too. You ought to get a hold of Ray, man. Make this a trilogy.
Yeah,
I agree.
Ray's Hank's bass player. Ray's the one that got caught in the shower with Hank.
Yeah,
He could tell you some stories that you would die.
I need to reach out to him. He may be like, who the hell is this cat? Kind of thing. But I may shoot him a message on there and,
No, I'll clue him in.
Okay.
I talk to him every other day.
Awesome.
I'll tell him about you guys.
Awesome.
And,
Awesome.
and if you get a hold of him, he'll know who you are.
Thank you, brother. So much.
Thank you so
man.
much, Mr. Bill.
All right, you guys. I enjoyed it. Y'all take care. I'll
You
talk
too,
to you
brother.
soon.
See ya.
See you, man.